Literally no clue how that's going to sound for you guys. Hopefully, it should be an octave. Jamie, no spam, my man. It is the new pedal. I say new, but I've had it for a while. I haven't used it on any streams or any videos yet. But this, oh shit, didn't make the cable long enough. Hold on a second. Didn't plan this through. Oh god, so much stuff is happening. Guitar is falling. I can't do this. Hold on, I don't trust the guitar now. Let me just, there, cable ties. So this is what you guys are hearing. At last, the H9 is revealed. It is a mighty fine machine, for sure. Well, hello! Blues time. Blues! Best budget low output pickup for blues rock. Huh. I honestly, I don't know much about pickups, man. I will be honest. Sounds wackadoo. Chatter Kung Pao! Yes, man, the H9 is insane in the membrane, for sure. Intensities. Jamie's crying. Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about it is the app that it comes with. So a lot of these multi-effects units, maybe nowadays, are coming with them. But hey, Justin, you know, a lot of them, like, you need a computer. They have like computer software like my Axe Effects, but I'm just kind of like, what if I don't have a computer and, you know, I'm somewhere where I just want to, you know, alter my tone but not need to use the actual interface. And when I saw that this had an app to it, it's amazing. David Mullen, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you for the guitar tomorrow. Should we be jamming as well? Shoot, yeah. You better be jamming, man. Hey, Ryan's here. What's up, buddy? Beard, yes, the beard is back, baby. I've been growing my hair. I've had long hair pretty much my whole life. I only had like real short hair 1 year. Yeah, man, these P90s are banging. I think they sound really good as well. These are the Antiquity P90s. So I think the P90s that are in my Vintage T sound a little bit better. And those are Friedman P90s. But I do think that these sound really good as well. You dirty hippie London. Greetings from Tampa. Well, hi, Brad. Hey, Brad. Sorry, I realized. I'm like, oh, it's Brad Miller. Rosie. You got a Danelectro 66 because of me. Nice, man. I love the Danelectros. I had the Danelectro before I switched to this, right before I went live. Just because I was trying to figure out which was the best guitar for that octave sound. Beth, what is up? Beth is in the chat. Gary Moore. I don't know any Gary Moore songs per se. I've more of like just learned some of his licks, you know. So to me, all those like fast little pentatonic things, to me, that's very Gary Moore. I'm running through my Revv Dynamis right now, so I'll give you guys the gamut. The delays in the H9 are so nice. They have this really cool synth sound on here. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to hear it. But I've always said, the reason why I like stuff like the H9, for example, and, you know, this was just recommended to me by a lot of people. Pete Thorne and all these guys highly recommended it. The reason why I like stuff like this so much is because I've always said, like, I've never viewed tones in terms of, like, pedals and stuff like that. I always viewed it in terms of guitars. You know, like, if I wanted for tone, I switch guitars. So as far as, like, getting all these crazy, hey, Joe, all these crazy tones, I really don't know what goes into making them. So whenever I can have the stuff listed in front of me, like this one is, like, I mean, you have all your different, literally, it's all just right here on a list, you know, of the different styles. So I can read that name and be like, oh, cool, I want this crystal sound, which I know what that means, but I literally don't clue how to make this tone. So if I did that, you won't be able to hear it the best right now. Hear how it gives that crystal? We'll hear it. I won't be lazy, and I'll let you guys hear it. You can hear all the P90 noise through this thing, too. So, 165 of you guys. Dude, thank you so much for tuning in. I figured we'd just hang out, check out some gear. But yeah, so here's what I'm talking about, like, with the pedal. Like, I love this crystal sound. It's really just, like, an inspiring sound for me for, like, clean stuff. So here's some better audio for you. So there you have that. Volume pedal, noise gate. I'm not yet. I don't have one yet. I was just texting Tim Pierce last night about that. I was like, dude, you changed my life. Neil! Man, all the homies are here. Yeah, and like I like that sound a bunch. But like I said, you know, I don't have a clue how to create a tone like that at all. And I honestly don't care to learn how to do it, if I'm being honest. I just like to... I play around with this, and to me, that stuff is, like, incredibly inspiring, you know? And does it do... You know what's funny is I heard a couple different people complain... Make sure I'm on distorted. Now, the reverb you're hearing is on the Dynamis. I can turn it off later if we decide to do some reverb stuff. But I heard some people say, like, oh, you know, I wish the distortions were better. And I heard them, and I'm like, man, usually I'm not impressed with distortions on these things, but I think this thing sounds phenomenal. Oh, here's the synth thing I was talking about. I won't switch over audio, but... Oh, sorry. It's just a tone like that, to me, is so inspiring. I don't know why, because it's so goofy. I have a 50... No, not an XT. Mine is just a 59. I have two 59s right over there beside me. Yeah, I don't like to fiddle with stuff, so I don't like really like dive into tweaking presets or anything like that. I more or less just find ones that I like in the presets and just use those. Like this thing, when I put it on my pedal board, I will be dialing it more. But here is the distorted tones out of this thing. Again, I think they sound great. You know, I had heard mixed things about it, but I really think it sounds good. So here you can hear this one with just the distortion. Reverb is from my Dynamis, though, not the pedal. Oh, nope, I'm clicking on all the wrong stuff. Wow, again. And that's just, of course, one of like 1,000 presets. Filipino songs, I do not. But yeah, it's like a really smooth sound. They have other ones, like they have some really cool fuzz ones on here, but that is just called Fadavalo. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's kind of funny because it's called Crush Station, and then all the distortion names have like they're like underwater themed. Jumbo Shrimp, Scuttlebutter, Bottom Feeder, Sag Harbor. So I don't know. Like I thought it sounded great. So my first guitar was a Samick guitar. I've talked about it a little bit before, but basically it looks exactly like what the Silver Sky looks like now. The actual Silver Sky. That's just for a good analog delay. It depends on how much you want to spend. The Carl Martin Echo Tone is an incredible sounding, real analog delay. But they are kind of expensive. So depends on how deep you're wanting to get into that analog handmade world. First up, I just got a new Gibson Les Paul Jr. this week. Dude, I've been like hankering for an LPJ. Is the giveaway is worldwide. Mr. Worldwide. And the winner will be drawn randomly. Just a heads up. Just because I've gotten so many emails from people, asking me to pick them and stuff like that. And I'm just like, to be honest, it's random. It's going to be completely random. So the way we're doing it is we'll randomly pick one person from my list of followers on Instagram. We'll randomly pick one person from Dan Electro's followers. And then we will randomly pick one of those two people, and that's the winner. Everything, so I appreciate the messages, but I don't have any say in the winner, and neither does Dan Electro. It's just luck of the draw. And it's worldwide. You can send those emails, but they don't help your chances. Switchfoot. Finally got a Gibson 79 The Paul. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Man, I love those 70s Les Pauls so much. Oh, wow, Beth. Thank you so much. Just wanted to check in early. I've got a wicked stomach virus. Oh, no. I don't know how long it's going to last tonight. How about some cat scratch fever? That's about how I feel. Oh, well, thank you so much for the super chat, Beth. And I'm sorry that you're not feeling too good. Let's all, in the chat, wish Beth a quick recovery and some cat scratch fever, of course. Forgot to ask you guys, how is it volume-wise? Am I too loud? Not loud enough? Woo! That was a little bit too much distortion for these P90s. But yeah, if it's too loud, shout it out in the chat, and I'll kind of keep my eye on the chat while I'm playing. There you are, Beth. Hope that helps you feel a little bit better. So the volume's good, but not too loud for me. Nice. Yeah, I find I have to figure out some of the presets on the H9 are louder than others. This and what you're hearing right now is just the amp. Just a little bit too loud. Okay, I was just wondering because I was watching the levels switch quite a bit. It's good. Because it suddenly got really loud for me, so I had to turn it down over here. If it's old, you're too loud to be here. What amp? You're hearing the Revv Dynamis tonight. It was what I used it the other night when I did a live stream, and I just left it hooked up. Practice amp. Let's return instead of a amp. Have you ever seen or heard anyone doing it before? I have not. I'm not too savvy in any of that kind of stuff. Ario, shout out! Thank you, homie. I don't know much Black Sabbath, I'll be honest. Oh, you know what? I still have this going. I can stop that. There we go. Neil, how are you doing, my man? Oh, wow, Cody Benson. Thank you, man, for the super chat. From the amount I've learned from you, I just have to say thank you. Also, who is your favorite YouTube guitarist currently? Dines, Fluff, DVG, Chappers. Well, first of all, thank you very much, man. I appreciate if any of my videos has helped anybody. My favorites at the moment, well, there's always going to be like those staple favorites. You know, I've been watching Jared and Fluff and all those guys for years. My two absolute favorites right now are definitely Rick Beato. Sorry, I should say three favorites. Rick Beato and Paul Davids and Sean Tubbs. I like those guys, so much. Definitely, I find Rick's endless knowledge so inspiring. Same with Paul David and Sean. They both know so much, so much more than me. So I just find those guys really, really inspiring. Oh, of course, Ola. I love Ola. I like all those guys. Thankfully, I don't know too many people in the guitar realm who know each other pretty well that don't get along. I can't think of anybody that I don't get along with. Or not, or most of them, we're on, text each other, stuff like that. I was just texting Fluff the other night, asking him, I want to start doing live streams with other people. So I was asked. Pete Thorne said he's down to do one. Fluff is down. Just to hang out and chat. So heard Gina's working on a new album. I did not know that. Need to make the trip to Germany. I won't be doing any big, long trips like that this year, unfortunately. I also won't be at the Dallas Guitar Show. I was supposed to go, but I will not be able to now, unfortunately. And I won't be doing, mainly because my wife is, she's still in school, and she's finishing up her last semester, which she decided that she wants to do it during the summer, and, I needed to, for her to be able to do that and finish that semester and all that kind of stuff, we obviously need to make the commitment that if I did traveling, it'd pretty much be during the weekends. So there won't be a whole lot of those big, long, week-long trips, which is fine with me. I like staying home. As far as big trips go, I'll still be going to Summer NAMM. And that's like in July. So I'll be going to Gear Fest. I'll be going to Guitar Fest, which is here in Ohio. I'll be doing a clinic there. And Dan Electro asked me about doing some clinics. So I might be doing some of that stuff. And it'll still be really busy. Still lots of traveling and stuff like that. And then Shanghai at the end of the year. And yeah, lots going on. Congratulations on marriage. Well, thank you. Been married 7 years now. I do not have a PRS. I've often looked into them. Henning is an awesome person, Neil. I stayed at his house for 3 days. Was that last year? Was that 2 years ago? I don't know. It's so hard to keep track. Tone, hair, pin, I know, I gotta get on those. Chasing vintage guitars. My boss is an owner in the company. There's some checking. Checked out Chasing Vintage Guitars. That's in Ohio. I've never heard of that. Huh. I have to look it up, man. Thank you, Kyle. Chasing Vintage Guitars. Maybe if you don't mind, if you could send me an email or something. That'd be really, really good. Tyler has a bunch of really cool PRS guitars. I don't own any Flying V's. It's the most expensive guitar you've ever... Earlier, at the end of last year, I was doing a clinic in Mississippi, and they had a real 56 Les Paul, and the guy was asking $40,000 for it. So I'd say that's the most expensive guitar like that I've ever played. Aside from that, 2 NAMMs ago, when I was just went to say hi and visit the guys from PRS over there and stuff like that, they took me in the back room and let me play. It was one of the locked up private stock guitars, which of course I'm terrified to even play the thing. And it's like $15,000 or something like that. So that was another really expensive one. I don't like playing stuff like that. I mean, it's cool to get to see it and stuff like that, but um, you know, I have a lot of companies that reach out and say they want to, like, you know, if I want to borrow something, which is nice, and I do that with brands like Vola and stuff like that, which I have, you know, long term like relationships already built with the companies. But I kind of play guitars rough. So if I borrow stuff, I really like to borrow relic guitars. To be honest, like Friedman let me borrow a couple guitars. I think they're sending me one of the NoHo guitars. I have some of the USA Volas here. They're just loaners. So, how many Dan Electros do I have? I don't know. I think I have 4. I love Dan Electros. They're one of those, like, they want to have those, like, just that odd brand of guitar that is very off the wall from your normal. Alex! What's up, dude? How's that Vola treating you? Anyways, does anyone have, like, that one brand of guitar that's polar opposite of what you normally like, but for some reason, it's like, I know why I like it, because I saw Jimmy Page, you know, playing it in White Summer. But, you know, it's just, they're odd guitars, and for some reason, I connect with them and I love them. I'm always going to be like a traditionalist at heart, but as far as like a funky looking guitar, I dig them. Norms, California. I want to buy a guitar from Norms. Yeah, I might be out there. There's some, so like, I mean, a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this big video project I want to do this year, and I'm gonna do some of this with some different friends that I have who either, you know, they're like YouTube guys, and try it with them first to see how it does. Because the biggest thing, there's just some, like, you know, adult personal stuff that we're working on, you know, getting taken care of and all that stuff before I start all this traveling. Thank you, Kyle. And we're just working on that stuff. And then once that's taken care of, then I want to do this big project, this idea that I had. And I'm gonna try a couple of them. But essentially, it, you know, will cost us a lot up front. And, you know, a portion of the videos will be free on YouTube, and the other half, you know, I'll be charging for on my website. And I'm just trying to hopefully get it to cover the expenses of travel and hotel, and if I need to rent a car and all that kind of stuff to do this really cool content that I haven't seen anyone else do. Daryl, you bought one. You know what, man? I need to play it. Oh, look, mine's right here. I'm going to play it right now because of you. Daryl said he bought one of these. What color did you get, dude? Lionheart. Oh, look, there you go. I was going to say, Lionheart, do you hear what he just got? Red. Now, I almost got a red one. If it wasn't for 2 of my friends both having the red one. Do I think rock will become mainstream? You know, I think we get like a little glimpse of it becoming mainstream again. Like back in the early 2000s, we had, if you guys, some of you probably like the band Jet. I think that they were kind of like a glimpse back at like that 70s style. And then we had like Buck Cherry and stuff like that. But I don't know if it'll ever come back the way that it was, but maybe. Oh, sorry. I got sidetracked. So like I said, I want to do this big video project that will cover the expensive stuff, and I'm hoping that if I can save up or like sell some stuff, one of the stops would be out in California to do something with Pete Thorne and Tim Pierce, and I would love to buy a guitar from Norms, and you know, just to do a video about it. Because I'd like to get like a 70s Strat. I know that's like a bad era, supposedly, but that's, you know, that's way down the road. Oh, dude, Neil, thank you so much, man. So yeah, thank you for the super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. You know, I just have to kind of like see how it goes. You know, to see how the first couple do, because the first couple are just gonna be essentially financed by us to see if it works, and then just hopefully that can kind of like roll over if it does make enough to cover expenses, and then it's like, okay, well then we'll put that money to the next one, and then we'll just kind of keep building off of them. But I think it could be something like super cool. I've told the idea to like Tim Pierce and Dave Walliman and Sean Tubbs and all these, you know, guys who I really respect, and they're just like, that's a good idea. And I was like, yeah, I know, I want to do that. One thing I do have that's really cool that I'm also excited about is finally right here, this. All these dang pages of tablature. So you can see it. You can see all this tablature stuff. This is a course. Finally, my first beginner course. Geared toward, not like absolute beginners, but beginner style. And that will hopefully be coming out in a couple weeks. I took the last year off from releasing stuff. I'm going to release that, and I'm going to work on reshooting some of the other stuff from my older courses, kind of updating those a little bit. I've been blabbing too much. Let's hear some guitar. Guitars in her hand. So this next little jam sesh goes out to Daryl, who just bought a vintage T. Dude, congrats on the sweet new guitar. And you went with the P9. Now, did you go hardtail? So like mine's hardtail, or did you get a trim? So I'll wait on your response. Oh wait, is it still working? Oh, there we go. Sometimes the bars are laggy on here. So anyways, so here's some guitar picking and grinning for you. much higher. And guitars with mini humbuckers. I did have an SG with mini humbuckers. In your face, Sam, because it's gone now. Just joking, buddy. I did have them, but I don't anymore. And that was the only guitar I've ever had with mini humbuckers. And go crazy on you. Little Wing. I don't know Little Wing. I've never learned it. It's always been on the list of songs to learn. Let's hear. Put the pedal back on for a second. This is active. Oh. Tell you one thing, the delays on this thing are insane. Want to get the right one? Yeah, it's crazy. They sound so good. Since a new video of you learning Little Wing. Oh, you know what? I've never thought about that. That's a good idea. That will happen now. That'll force me to learn it. You know. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Sorry, I was just trying to find the right. Hey, let's hear something just off the top of your head with your tone. Just riff. Sure. You know, that's one of my favorite things to do. And you know, a lot of people ask me about the intros to my videos, and those are always off the cuff. That's why sometimes they're probably not the best, but I always love to let that first part of the video, it's just whatever happened. You know, whatever I play, that's just what the intro is, you know? And I think that it's like the most authentic, because like the rest of the video I edit, and I get rid of some, you know, really clammy notes. But those intros, man, I let them just do their thing. And I just let it be what it is. So here, I'll just riff around for a second, and let's see if we come up with something out of this. Just needed a wall, right? How does ACC? Yeah, I think this guitar really does, you know, AC/DC better even than what my SG did, to be honest. Some good intermediate solos. I think some of the Stevie Ray Vaughan solos aren't too bad. You know, some of them get a little bit crazy, but you know, I think some of those are good solos for like intermediate stuff to really, really hone in. Who was I just talking about? I was talking about feel, and oh, whoa, good video idea just came to me. Hold on, let me send this to myself. There we go. Sorry, just popped in my head. Basically, yeah, so we were talking about feel, and I was like, you know, it's funny how whenever you can tell some people, it's just a different kind of feel. You know, it's weird, like when you hear someone like when I saw Andy Timmons playing, he played with Paul Gilbert, Andy Wood, Nilly Brosh, Mark Letary, who else was there? I think that might have been it, Andy Timmons. And out of all of them, I feel like he had the best feel out of all of them. You know, and it was like you could just tell like his feel was on a different level than everyone else's. They're all, you know, insane players, but whenever he would play, I was just like, you know, his phrasing was so good, and I feel like that is such a hard thing to learn. So to get feel, and it's like, what does it even mean? Like I don't know how to describe it. I just know the way that he's playing notes. I'm just like, I don't know. I want my notes to sound like that. Oh, that Chili Pepper stuff? That, you know, as soon as possible, I'd say that stuff's tough though. You know, Shante is an amazing guitar player. Angus Young solos, yeah, I think Angus has incredible feel. I've been learning a lot of like Angus stuff lately, and just like I said, just in general, trying to play better placed stuff. That makes sense, you know. Like if I'm trying to play like what I was just doing a minute ago, you know, stuff like that. To me, like that has like a certain feel to it. Oh. I mean, just being honest, I think it comes from blues. Oh, dude, it is cold in Ohio, right? It was so nice earlier. But I know I've been learning a lot more like bluesy. And 70s porn music for a wind. But yeah, you know, I think like learning that stuff is so crucial, and I don't know if it's just like it comes with age kind of stuff, but I certainly pay more attention to those guys. You know, I spent so many years, you know, scaling it out, arpeggio in my face off. And I think there's like a time and place for that stuff. You know, I still sit here and practice and go, you know, go through the arpeggios and do all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I really, really love listening to someone who can just sit there and I'm not doing a good job of it. Cliffs of Dover? Not well. Lance is back! What's poppin'? What's pop like a dropping, Lance? What's pop like a dropping? Freebird? No Freebird, I'm afraid. All about that jazz these days. I'm totally just making up chords. All on. I know I don't know how to play that one. Legends of Zelda theme. What is it? I used to know. What is Ipiona's song? Can't remember anymore. Try me. John Mayer. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That's what I always do. Shred Wars with Jared Dines. That's totally, that stuff is always up to him. I was beyond grateful of the 2 collabs I got to do with him. And I'm hoping, to get to do something with him on my channel too. Jared's a really good guy. I've got to chat with him, I think, every year at NAMM, or at least the past 3 years. Ran into him and just chatted, and always been super nice to me. So I can play the solo, you can too. Pride and joy. I messed up. I don't actually know how to play that. That's all. I'm just guessing. Oh, whoa! It just had like a light bulb moment with something that my hands did. Ah! That was so funny. Basically what happened, as I was doing like the B minor thing, but I did a pattern that I always do out of box 2 when I'm in minor. But if I do it right there, it's B major. Ow! All B majors. Check that out. Boom! It just clicked for me. Just right now. Oh, That's why there's distortion. Huh. I could go right to that. Man. The more you know. In today's episode of Robert Notices the Obvious, please don't play Fear the Reaper. I would never play a riff that someone asked me. All I play is what you don't want to hear. Probably all a trick to get me to play it. Toto! All I wanna do when I wake up in the morning is see your eyes. I'll just sing it for you. Rosanna, Rosanna. Rosanna. The rest, I don't know that ending part. I can't think of it. Let's flip it over to some better audio. Been too long. I don't remember the rest of the solo. What is it? That last part was wrong. Hey! Pixie Licks! Although you're Steve from Boston, but you'll always be Pixie Licks! Oh, there it is. No. man, I gotta remember that one. Da-down, ba-da-dum-da-dum-down. Talk about an epic solo. Steve, check it out. Oh, look, it does all this stuff. Look, I haven't even turned it on yet. It does all of this stuff. Yes, I don't know any of Mateus Asado, but what an amazing guitar player he is. Oh, hold on. Oh, there you go. I thought I forgot to turn the audio back over. Led Zepp first album, Led Zepp any album. It's good with me. Derek. The second solo. There you go. I think that's the second solo, isn't it? Something like that, right? So good. Yep. It's a good one. Lenny. Let's see. Hold up. Let me tame the delay. Can't find just a normal. Here we go. So here's some delay and stuff from the H9. I think it sounds really, really nice. Real nice. How to fake play chords 101. Did you catch all those? Because I hope you did. I don't really use pedals, you know, to be honest, and that's exactly why I'm you know, doing this big pedal board project that I keep talking about. Because I was like, you'll see why when I finally reveal all this stuff. You'll see why, you know, I wanted to do it and all that. You took notes? Good. Good. Because I need to know what chords I just played. Those are Sam. I've given Sam this lesson before. I call them hack chords. So I would show you guys, but I don't want to give away all my secrets, you know. Yo, Daryl Braun, man, my dude, what's happening, man? How are you? I was about to show them how to play hack chords just like me. It almost sounds like I know what I'm doing, but little do, actually pretty much everyone knows that I don't know what I'm doing. I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to know my hack chord secrets. How to effortlessly play chords everywhere and not know what you're doing. But they work for some reason. I don't really yell at Leadbetter, unfortunately. Got Steve from Boston. Daryl's here. Do it! Do it. All right, I'll show you guys how to hack your way through semi-convincing chord progression. I don't even know if I'd call it that. So here's just like a real easy way to do essentially chords over it. If he doesn't teach you guys, I will. No, so we're going to have our root note be our index finger. Okay, so whatever key we want to be out of, just start on that note. So we'll start on an A note. Something just happened. There we go. So anyway, so you start here on 7th fret, which is our root note. That's our A. Then you're going to go to 7 on the G. Okay. Which if you look at that, it's just a power chord. That's all I'm doing. So you have 7, 9, and then 10 on the B string, which is another root. So we're just playing a power chord here. Okay? And all I do is I move, this is an Eric Johnson trick. I move my bass note around inside of the scale because since this is just a power chord, it doesn't really have any, I guess like essential like value to it. You know, there's no third telling us if it's major, if it's minor. We can do whatever we want. So we could easily take this through like a minor if we wanted to and move through a minor. But I just move it through a major scale. So I just keep that overall bass, the same. And it's a really cool way to play like a different version of an A major chord. Again, these are all Eric Johnson's stuff. But essentially, that's just a major chord. So if you would play like 7 on the low E string, and then what is that? 9 on the low E string, 9 on the B, and then 10 on the Jesus. Let's start this again. 9 on the low E, 9 on the G, and then 10 on the B. it's the same thing as doing this, that D chord shape that we all know. So that's an A major. All A majors. But I'm just changing that low E string note, or the high E string to the low E. And to me, it gives it like a more like sophisticated sound. And there you have it. You have hat chords right there. So really, to me, that's where just spending the time to learn all your chord inversions. Like if you have like an A chord, learn your A chords everywhere, man. You know, all these are A chord all over the place. So just learn them, and then you can really move them around freely and just get a lot of like cool use out of them. And that's really where I had the big revelation of this stuff was Eric Johnson. He was playing a chord and I didn't have a clue what he was playing. I can't remember what chord he was playing. He was doing a C major chord somewhere. I can't remember the exact inversion, but I remember my teacher was just like, I don't really use the cage system, to be honest. I've never learned the cage system. I've had people tell me that I'm pulling parts out of what essentially is the cage system, but I've never used it, learned it myself. But anyway, so I just figured, I was like, oh, whoa, like you don't need your chords to be like, G, C, D like this. As long as you have the notes, you can literally do whatever you want. I mean, essentially, if you wanted this to be an A chord, you could just sit there and figure out, all right, how do I rearrange these notes in some other way that I can still make this an A? Well, it's like, well, I could get rid of this note completely and just go, I'm playing an A chord. I just substituted my A note here. I still have my root and fifth. So I could essentially add stuff, like I could add the 9. Maybe make it like a major 7 or something, but whatever. That's getting into nerdy stuff, which I'm sure nobody cares about. Oh, actually, there's more people here watching. Maybe you like the nerdy stuff. I don't know. I don't have like an issue with it at all. Some people are like, you're either 3 note per string or you're caged. And I don't think that there's, a right or wrong way, of course. But what I like to do is when I'm viewing the fingerboard and stuff like that, all those inversions, I've talked about this. A big reason why I have never done a theory course yet is, for one, I don't think I know enough to do a theory course. And 2, I don't know if my stuff is like backwards or what, So the way I view things is I'm viewing these chords inside of the scales, and what I've been working on a lot is the relationships of notes from different chords in the scale. So like if I play a G chord and I play my scale, sorry, I can turn that off. Okay, G major scale, 3 note per string. Of those notes, obviously, like my root, 3rd, and 5th are the notes of the G chord. Now, when I change to my C major chord, if we're doing like a 1, 4, 5, it's like, okay, but what are those notes in relation to the C major now? And it just changes the note value of the chords, essentially, in there. You out of here, Landon? Have a good night, buddy. If you guys haven't checked out Landon's channel, defo duo that. Anyways, so I'm just like, I love kind of like figuring out, it's like, well, what does the D note of, what does the D note mean to the G? Well, that's your 5th. What does the D note mean to the C? Then it's like, okay, well, what is that into the C major? Well, that's your 2. And it just like goes through all these different things. So I can't play slide, man. I don't get it. I can't figure it out. How long is the stream? As long as we want it to be. I don't know know exactly when we'll announce the winner. I have to get with Dan Electro. We'll be picking the winner tomorrow, and I'll announce when it's over. But yeah, we are going to be probably maybe announcing it on Sunday. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I fake my way through chords a lot of times. I don't know any Chet Atkins. I tried learning string. He just used a capo so much, and I hate using a capo. That's probably not a good excuse for me not to learn his stuff, though. Ooh, the 12 string, yes. Oh, where's it at? Sorry, backwards. That'll maybe be in a video on Sunday. Yeah, I don't even know where my slide is. I need to get a slide. I have a glass slide and a metal slide. I have a really nice capo right here. Who makes this? Thalia. Yeah, these are really good capos. But I never use it. She said love for me could never die. That'd change if she ever found out about you and I. Oh, but love is gone. Wouldn't hurt if you didn't know. When it touched too much, I need to feel your touch. I'm gonna run to you. Oh. Nope. Hey, Ron. Guitar's really growing on you. I'm glad, man. I really like this guitar. You know, I really felt a connection with it. As soon as I got it, you know, it felt, I was like, as soon as I got the guitar, I was like, this is my guitar. Like, I knew right away. It's always kind of like hit or miss. But one of the things I liked so much about these guitars is, oh, hold on a second, I'm sorry. Alexander, I hope this helps with that Dan Electro. Just kidding, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, the winner's gonna be random, but I really appreciate that, dude. But yeah, but you know, like with these guitars, I love the idea that this is the only guitar like this ever. You know, I love that idea. And the reason is because, you know, when I was talking to them about Grover, they were like, well, you know, Grover, not that he can't and won't, you know, he can be super specific with stuff if he wants to. They're like, but he prefers not to do that, you know, when I was telling him the kind of neck I wanted. And they were just like, he has different neck styles, and, you know, he sands it till it feels right. Basically, you know, is what they were saying. They're like, you know, if you're okay with that, that's the way he likes to build the guitar. You know, each guitar is an individual versus this, like, you know, set in stone template where it's just like pumping out guitars. And I was like, I love that. You know, I love that. My friend tried out a bunch of these guitars. Michael Nilsson, you can check out his channel. He has another one of my favorite channels. I love Michael's stuff. Me and him text all the time. I have a lot of Floyd guitars. I don't want them, but I have them. But yeah, but you know, basically Grover does that, and I want to get a vintage S with them because I had those two vintage S's here for a few months, and they're sending me a NoHo to check out. It won't be mine, but I really want to, you know, have one, spend some time with it and demo it and all that good stuff. But I want to see about doing a vintage S with them. But I want to see if they'd be okay with it, with me, you know, flying out there while they're building it, and just like on a weekend or something like that, and shoot some video of Grover actually there, and maybe if they would let me, like, you know, Grover could pick out like different woods, and then I could pick out which one I wanted of that. You know, I don't want to like get in, you know, the way of him doing his thing, but I thought it could maybe be kind of cool, if you know, he would obviously need to sign off on that. But there's something very specific that I want out of out of their vintage S, is I don't want it. It wouldn't be like your typical Strat necessarily. It'd be a little bit different. Yeah, man. You know, and like I said, I just have a lot of admiration for Grover and, you know, what he's done. Obviously, the compound radius neck was his thing. And definitely after meeting him and talking to him, I love, you know, their idea of stuff. Favorite guitar-driven album from the '80s? Oof, that's a tough one. All of them. Here's some Eric Johnson licks. Sure. Let's see how that delay does with distortion. Nope, that's not gonna mix well. We'll do this. I'll use the distortion. I like that distortion that they had on here a lot. Where was it called? If you're just tuning in, you didn't know what I was talking about earlier. I'm using the H9, the Eventide H9. I should specify that, shouldn't I? And that's crystals. Pretty sure it was red. Where is it at? Called Crustacean, which I thought was cool. Synthesizer crust. Oh no, I was wrong. It's gray. There we go. That's Eric Johnson-y. Want to be like me? I ain't never growing up, bruh. So let's try this. On fire. Well, thank you, Big Red Tower. There's your Eric Johnson stuff. You know what's funny? I found like to really sound like Eric Johnson, it's all about the way he's like constantly stopping and then like sudden bursts of speed, and you know the way it's something like that. It's he's almost never going straight through a scale unless he's doing like his fives thing, something like that. But if you play like your scale, if you want to sound like Eric Johnson, just skip notes. And he has those like, you know, it's just like real, I don't want to say random, but you know, it's, to me, that's tone here. Oh no! Look! No! Don't enable him. You know, as much as Joe Bonamassa and Eric Johnson get compared, I think their tones are rather different. You know, and their attack is to me very different. You know, Eric Johnson is a very smooth sound, and Joe is a very like powerful sound to me when he's doing it. So I like them both for different reasons, you know. The new pedal, then, and we're gonna be wrapping up here, is this right here. You can't see it the best because of the lighting, but it's the Eventide H9. So super fluid. Yeah, you know, that's part of like his style is that. And he also moves a lot. You know, he's always changing. You know, so. Oh, check this out. Look, my wife told me not to show this to you. So, my wife is one of those people who is just like, you know, good at whatever she like kind of sets her mind to. I'm not one of those people. And she likes to do these paintings, like these. She did this really cool abstract painting of this bull, and I was like, "Oh, would you do one of those paintings of one of my guitars?" And she was like, "Yeah." So she took a picture of the gold top, and she did another one in there that's really really cool too. But I'll show you this one up close. So it was this cool abstract kind of vibe on this thing. So she just did this, you know, and she does it all, I believe, with a palette knife. I'm not sure how well I can show that to you, but it's I think it's really really cool. So and you can see like what I taught a few Arctic Monkey songs, and they were really really good, like real riffy, and I like that a lot. But yeah, I thought this was really really cool, and so she did another one for me of the telly. That's what I told her. I was like, oh, you know, I think that would maybe be something cool to do if we did like a, you know, just like a limited batch of them or something. But, you know, that's up to her. Obviously, it's a lot of work because she does it. I don't know the kind. I think it's oil painting. I don't know enough about it, but I know it's not done with a brush. She's not using a brush at all. It's palette knives is the way you do it. And it was kind of, I can't remember how she said like how you do this. She took this really cool art classes last year, and I think she said like you paint. I don't know if this is the one she was saying, but basically like you paint the spaces where the subject isn't. She's texting me right now. Now we gotta go get some food. But yeah, and she did like a much bigger one of this guitar, and really really cool looking. So I don't know. You guys can see if that's something you would like, or you know, it's not necessarily musical. But I was like, you know what? Maybe we would just do like 4 or 5 of them or something. But capture some. I think she thinks that it's not, you know, any good, and I look at it and I'm like, dude, that is incredible. Like, I wish my guitar looked more like this. So, album cover art. Ooh, that's a good idea. Or maybe something like this for like a shirt or something like that. Very, yes, very interested. Yeah. So maybe I'll talk with her, you know. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. But yep, I think we're gonna go get some food. So I'm gonna bounce on out of here, guys. I went over hour and a half tonight. Check that out. So we went a little bit longer. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm gonna get this Eventide thing even more figured out. Yes, we are definitely doing merch this year, but I want to do it. I guess, in my opinion, the right way. Is there a right way to do it? You know, and I don't want it to be like my name on stuff or something like that. That seems weird to me. But I have some different things that have kind of come up through videos that, you know, I've said randomly or someone has recommended, and I was like, oh, you know what? That'd be a good idea for a shirt. So I just have to get someone to, you know, like a graphic designer to do it. But yes, thank you guys all so much. Thank you to all the guys who were in the super chat. Thank you for all the members, all you guys, the moderators. I appreciate all your help with all this stuff. And just other than that, have a great night. Tomorrow we'll pick the winner of the guitar. And I think that's it. Next week, I don't want to mess this up. Next week, I start shooting the material for my new guitar course, which I cannot wait. I don't know how many pages this thing is, but you can see it's pages, and it'll be my first, you know, more beginner-focused course. So other than that, I'll see you all later. Have a good night, and good luck to everyone about the guitar. So peace out, homies, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.